My name is Amanda Presnell, and I am the owner of Sugar High Baked Goods in Thornton, Colorado. Believe it or not, this beautiful cake in front of me is actually easier to make than you may think. A few days ago, I actually made a golden black cake similar to this with a different design, and it got a little bit of attention. I was asked to make a tutorial, so here I am. This is my first time making the tutorial, and I am rather nervous about it, so please be nice. However, that's not what we're here for. So I do want to note that I have only been decorating cakes for about 2.5 to 3 months, so it really doesn't take that much experience to be able to create something like this. It takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of practice, you finding what design is best for you, and a little bit of imagination, and you can create something like this in no time. So you're going to start with a thoroughly chilled, already frosted cake, preferably American Buttercream. And you're going to go ahead and choose whatever kind of stencil that you like best. I personally chose this recently and created a cake using these two specific stencils. This was the top, and this was my side pattern. I added paint and embellishments as I saw fit. There are many other patterns though that come with it that would work great for any cake. Personally, excited for this one. So as I said, your cake would need to be thoroughly chilled. And when I mean thoroughly chilled, I mean you can flick it and it's gonna make a hard thunk. So once your cake is thoroughly chilled and you pick the stencil of your choosing, you're going to go ahead and place your stencil on the cake. The stencil I chose today is a stencil that I have acrylic paint on. It won't come off the stencil, and the cake is for family purposes, so it's okay. Make sure to go ahead and center your stencil to the center of your cake as good as you can. Not always going to be perfect, and that's okay. And since your cake is so thoroughly chilled, it's not going to stick to it as is. What you're going to want to do is grab a separate colored or even same colored buttercream and make sure you kind of smooth it out a little bit in your bowl to get out any air lumps, bumps, whatever. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our offset spatula and grab a decent size amount of the buttercream frosting. And you're going to start over on an edge. And you're going to make sure to hold it down flat as you go along. If this stencil lifts up at any time, it will smush your design completely and it will not make for a pretty cake. So just keep smoothing it out very slowly, making sure not to let it lift up anywhere. If you see that it's naturally lifting up anywhere, try to hold it down as you start to place your buttercream. Once you start placing the buttercream, it will start to naturally stick in place on its own. Since your cake is chilled, it will instantly start to harden into the shape of the stencil, which is good news for us. Once you have it completely covered, where the frosting is, that's where it will stick underneath, once again, unless your stencil lifts up. It shouldn't really lift up too much at this point because you already have that decent layer of buttercream on it. So right now you can go ahead and try your hardest to get it all to be a uniform smoothness and height. So it looks really nice and intricate and more detailed when you pull off the stencil here in a minute. Keep in mind that as you scrape away, you will start to see bits of white. More than likely, that's going to be where you're scraping away from the stencil itself. And that's not actually coming off your end-all be-all design. Okay. That's probably the best I'm going to get it. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you will be able to do much, much better than me. This is still just a new thing I'm trying out. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and pull off the stencil. Ready, set, and we're going to lift up in one smooth motion. And hope it didn't stick anywhere, it shouldn't have. And voila, we have a stenciled cake. At this point you can go ahead and paint it, decorate it, color it however you want. Or you can even just leave it as is. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, I didn't get it 100% centered like my last cake, but we're gonna get there eventually, I'm sure, with enough practice. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put on the side. Set this over here for now. So for the side, I do actually suggest getting a strip of parchment paper that you can wrap around the bottom half of your cake, just to make sure that if anything does drip, drop wherever, it's not gonna mess up your bottom design. Or it doesn't even have to go all the way down to the bottom, just whatever size you really have left for your border. So the border that I chose today is going to be this one. So you just simply place it around the edge, and you're going to slowly go through the adding the buttercream, same way as we did before. Start at the edge and work your way around. The very last end piece is more than likely where it's going to try to lift the most, so you got to be super careful with that. And just kind of lightly press the frosting into it where it currently lays. We got it all the way. I'm not even going to worry too much about trying to get this all the same. I'm just going to start letting it come off. And there we have a successful stencil border. And then you just take it and rinse it off. Go ahead and repeat on the other side. One of the best features about these stencils is that it actually has outlining that shows you where it goes, and you can cut it perfectly to where it will seamlessly line up with the previous pattern. Is beautiful. There we go. Not 100% perfect, but once again, still a new technique. So from here you can just go ahead, clean it up as best as you can, add any paint, embellishments, borders, and we'll show it to you when it's all done.